Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groons is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groons.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 30. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. With the fall sports calendar just around the corner and practices starting to heat up for fall camp, many Golden Gopher fans are likely set to travel to Big Ten cities somewhat soon. And I thought it'd be fun to do a bit of a tour of the Big Ten, Best Places to Eat edition. So have a listen here to find out some of the Gopher Radio Network crew's favorite places to eat in the Big Ten. My guests include Gopher women's basketball announcer Justin Gard. He also travels with the football team as the top sideline guy in the league. We get a taste of winter with the radio voices of Gopher hockey, Wally Shaver and Frank Mazzacco, and special guest Dan Riesig. He was a longtime Gopher sports communication staff member, and he helped plan and book countless reservations for the Gopher men's basketball radio crew over the years. He's been a great resource, and we miss eating with him on our road trips. So a bunch of guys to tell us about the best places to eat in the Big Ten. What more could you want? Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. We're so excited to be associated with these great folks on the Go Gopher podcast. Our podcast is also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplionInsurance.com. Tony is a big Gopher fan. I also invite you to subscribe to our podcast. It's free to click the subscribe button. You can listen at any time. You can also go back to listen to our previous shows. That includes last week's podcast, which featured Gopher Star center John Michael Schmitz from Big Ten Football Media Day in Indianapolis. John Michael's a preseason All-Big Ten candidate who is on many watch lists heading into the season. But when we come back, we'll take a tour around the Big Ten, favorite places to eat. Have a listen. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you have a favorite spot that you've liked and we haven't talked about in your travels around the league, please let us know. We're talking food in the Big Ten. But first, a word from Tony.
Hey, Gopher fans, this is your State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. We are super excited to be part of the new Mike Grimm Show on Talk North. For the year of 2022, we will be donating $10 to the University of Minnesota Children's Masonics Hospital for everyone that calls our office or checks in with us online and mentions that they heard about us on Talk North and the Mike Grimm Show. We are really excited again that Mike came on board with Talk North. You can reach us at 763-421-4900. You can find us on the web at ChamplionInsurance.com. Again, 763-421-4900, or find us on the web at ChamplionInsurance.com. Roll the boat, Sky Yuma, go Gophers.
It's the Go Gopher Podcast, episode number 30, and we're hoping to have some fun today. We have a full house here. We're recording from our friends at Studio X in the iHeart building, and we're going to talk food in the Big Ten. We've been talking about this for a few weeks, in fact, a few months, that when the summer months slow down, and they haven't really slowed down, but we're still going to kind of crank this out. We have a 5-person crew here to talk about the Big Ten and talk about favorite restaurants. And part of why we have done this is we have had some people ask over the years when you're out and about, hey, when you go to Ohio State, do you have a favorite place? And I suppose it varies by person and by sport and time of year and all of that. So we've put together a distinguished, very distinguished panel. We've got the voices of Gopher hockey on the radio. And, of course, they're a little more limited in the exposure to the Big Ten market because there are 7 Big Ten cities. However, they get to go to South Bend, while basketball and football do not. So that's one Big Ten city they get to visit. Wally Shaver, good to see you.
Good to be here.
And Frank Mazzacco, great to see you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
You guys are return visitors. We had a great visit right after the UMass game-winning goal in the Final Four. And or was that? That was to get to the Frozen Four, right? I'm trying now. Yes, that was to get. That was the Elite Eight.
You said we were talking food.
I know. Well, I just wanted to say, because I know it's a preemptive strike, because when I introduce Justin Gard, our next guest, he's going to say, well, I'm earning your paycheck. This is the 58th time I've been on this podcast.
That's true.
It's 3 now, right?
Well, you're running out of ideas.
Yeah.
It's sad.
What do you mean?
You need some more friends.
This is no.
You need some more friends.
You get to bring a couple of different
It's going to be the Go Gardsy podcast here pretty quick.
Soon, yeah.
The Go Gopher podcast. But it's great to see Frank and Wally. How about this guy?
Yeah.
How about the Maryland native Danny Reesig coming around for us?
Yeah, so our fifth distinguished member of the panel is Dan Reesig. He was the longtime Gopher men's basketball sports information director, now a proud representative of Gardsy's hometown of Edina, Minnesota. You're now working in the public sector, making the big money. And congratulations on that. Communications?
Yes, that's right.
At the city of Edina.
That's right. And I have to say, I feel like the Ringo in this group.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Did you bring your drum
Poles
set?
and Georges, and I'm in the back just, keeping time.
Well,
but, everybody loves Ringo.
As Dan definitely, or as Gardsy definitely knows, Dan, the reason we brought him on, one, he's a good dude and we like him, but two, he is a foodie, and when Spencer and Dan Robotham, our engineer, we travel, Dan plans many of the basketball meals on the road. So he is an expert on that.
He's a great researcher.
He's a great researcher.
He finds the right food for the right price. I've never gotten the pleasure of being on a trip with him like you have, that.
Yeah.
You gave us a couple in Maryland and some other things, but yeah, you're a pro when it comes to this venue, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got to interrupt you. That's obscene. For you guys to have a food planner,
yeah, right? Hey, when you're as important as Spencer Tollickson,
We got the wrong sport, Frank.
I mean, don't tell Paul Rovnak. I didn't spend any time researching sports information.
Yeah, no, your game notes were terrible.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding. Your game notes were wonderful, but that's the running joke. Game notes were terrible. Food planning off the charts.
And Grimmer, I have to interrupt because Rovnak would do the same thing. He would always call me a foodie, and to me, there's a big. I am not a foodie. I'm a guy who likes to eat food, so I can't tell you the fanciest places, the most Instagrammable places. I can just tell you, especially for the Spencer and Mike Grimms of the world who like to eat steak on every trip, where to
we do enjoy
steak for the most reasonable price. For sure.
So before we really get into it, here's our plan for the show. Now, you never know. We could take some side turns and detours. We're going to go through all 14, and I guess if you count South Bend, 15 Big Ten markets, and kind of just discuss, because I think people, hey, if I go watch a Gopher basketball game or hockey game or football game or volleyball or wherever in the Big Ten, where do I go? And so we'll hopefully offer up some of ours. And just because we like it, this is the big disclaimer, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like it. This is our own taste. Don't add us, as they say. If you think the place stinks, too bad we like it, right? So there you go. Gardsy, and then to set the stage as well, Gardsy is representing women's basketball and football, and your eating situation varies by sport, right?
Yes, not my drinking situation, but my eating situation. Yeah, drinking is pretty stable.
Yeah, so you've got your normal spots to go.
But eating is different.
Yeah, so you eat with the team in women's basketball.
Yes, typically.
Or you're traveling on your own and just eating by yourself.
Exactly right.
Or in football, then we have in
football we're not invited to anything.
Not with the team, but we go out and eat the night before.
Yes, we do,
as we like to call it, fellowship.
It's great fellowship.
Yeah, sure
that's what it is, which is what Gopher fans should be looking for when they're going out on trips or bowl games or whatever it is. It's all part of the deal.
Oftentimes, it's the highlight of the trip.
In some years, it has been. Some road trips, it has been.
And some road trips for football, we would have groups as big as 14, probably, as little as 5 or 6.
Yeah.
In Daryl, Daryl, by the way, was hosting a donor today for his Boulder options, and so that's why he couldn't join us. Spencer Tollickson just didn't want to be here.
Correct.
He golfs every day, and he can't help out a friend on a podcast. It's unbelievable. You guys eat on your own as well, Wally and Frank, on the road trips?
Yep. Have for years.
Yep. And is it always you'll go out the night before a game, or sometimes you stay in and maybe order room service?
No, usually we go out, find a good local establishment, might walk around a little bit and see what's out there. But usually we don't really have much of a plan of where we're going to go. We just see something that looks good and dive in.
Now, you guys did have the league change. Forever, you guys were in the WCHA. Frank, you were TV for a number of years. Wally was radio. Did you guys, even at that time, gather for meals?
I don't think I was allowed to associate with anybody outside the TV truck.
That was it, huh?
That was it.
All she wrote. You had to.
That's why I love radio now. We commingle. It's just great.
It's beautiful. Very good. So, but you were in the WCHA forever, so now you were introduced maybe on a more regular basis to some of the towns. Before we get into that, did you have any favorite hangouts in the old WCHA that you miss now?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right, give us a few.
I don't even know if it's still open. My favorite is in Colorado Springs. It's a restaurant called Henri's, which you might think French. No, it was Mexican. It was just great food. And the last time, and that's the last time I ever recommended a restaurant to anybody that were traveling, one of the crew members, this was in the TV days, came down with a severe gallbladder attack after the meal. And that was it. It was just a little too spicy, but I think it's in a place called Old Colorado Springs. You know that neighborhood down there? It's kind of a touristy place, but it's Henri's.
Very good. Wally, do you have any haunts of the old league that you miss?
Well, back in the early days, I worked with Glenn Sonmore on the radio broadcast for about 10 years. So I'd haul him all the way around, and we'd just go to different places. He was not a fussy eater. Just put something in front of him, and he would dive in. I remember once we were across the street from an Indian restaurant in Madison, and I said, Glenn, he wasn't walking real good at that time.
Yeah.
I said, you just want to go across the street to have some Indian food. And he really gave it a strong thought. He didn't know what Indian food was. I said, you'll like it. I don't like real spicy. I said, these are good spices. Just get the chicken curry and you'll be fine. And that was good. I used to like the place called the Library up in Houghton, Michigan.
The library.
When we'd go up there, you'd going down the library. Everybody thought you were studying.
That's genius if you're on campus, because the junior in college calls his mom and says, I'm at the library. I was at the library last night. She's not thinking it's the bar, probably.
Ventura, Velasquez, Ruiz. 5 generations of Henri's. I just did it in Colorado Springs.
There you go.
1910, the year the Mexican Revolution exploded, Ruiz and her family traveled north into the United States looking for peace and prosperity.
And they found it.
They found it in Colorado Springs, opened up a restaurant, and the rest is history.
Wow.
But that's what I like about you got to find those little places that have a little history to them as well.
No doubt about it. All right, so let's talk some Big Ten. As we get into it, and you guys are some of the Big Ten was a holdover, right? Wisconsin, is that it? Was Wisconsin the only
one? Yeah,
only one.
For
so
hockey,
then, and so you instead of Grand Forks and Houghton and Marquette and some other spots you went to, you're all of a sudden now going to the South Bends and the Ann Arbors and East Lansings of the world. East Lansing, in fact, let's start with East Lansing, because that might be, at least in our time, the most boring place to ever go food-wise. And this is not a knock on the city itself. Last year we had a basketball trip where we started in Indiana, then we stayed on the road and went to Michigan State. So I spent some time at a movie theater there with our engineer Dan Roboth, and we watched Guardsy, you'd appreciate this, the Kurt Warner, whatever the movie, I don't know what the title was. Let's get to the food. So the problem with East Lansing is we stay at the Marriott. Is that where you guys stay for?
Yes.
For basketball, we stay there. And there's the Buffalo Wild Wings across the street. And our general rule, I don't know if you guys do, our general rule of football and basketball travel, and Pops Westerman, our old buddy, is he kind of originated this. No chain restaurants.
I like that rule.
Get something local, like Guardsy said, maybe a hole in the wall sometime, maybe a fine dining steakhouse that, stands by itself. It's not a chain. But sometimes when it's literally a 35-second walk, Buffalo Wild Wings will do. And so that is, right, Danny? That's really basically been our stop in East Lansing.
Well, and also it seems like every trip we made to East Lansing, flights in the winter, so it always feels like we're getting in at like 7:30 or 8 at night. It's always a little bit, rainy or slushy or snowing, and the weather, you're just never in a mood to go anywhere. So when it's right across the street, it's hard to pass.
If it's the right time of year, what was the name of the ice cream shop, though?
Oh, that's on my list, Grimmer.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it. Come on. We're getting to the list here.
It's very creatively known as the Michigan State Dairy Store. It's their on-campus place. So it's associated with the school, right?
Correct. Yeah.
University of Minnesota has a creamery. There's about 7 of them, I think, in the Big Ten, and I did make it a goal, and I think I accomplished it before I, retired from athletics, to go to all of them, because it's a fun way to see what's going on. And Michigan State has one. It's right in their union, which is 5-minute walk right as you cross that main drag from where the hotel is.
We went once.
Yeah.
I remember.
And,
Yeah.
and they've got fun flavors. They've got Tom Izzo Crunch and Mark D'Antonio Swirl and whatever, all these different things. And it's great because it's, it's cheap. It's really good ice cream. It's made by the students and it's something unique. Because again, there's a Cold Stone too, which I think we ended up at once.
Yeah.
And given 9 times out of 10, I'll always take the on campus.
That creamery is good. I've been in there before too.
Yeah. How about you guys? Do you have a spot in East Lansing?
Well, instead of going over to B-Dubs, we just go across the street and walk another 30 seconds further. We go to a place called Hopcat.
Hopcat.
A lot of beers on tap in that place.
Very
There's
nice.
one in the cities now, too. So I don't know if that makes it a chain, but there's a Hopcat downtown, do you think?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
That's in East Lansing then, because we went one time to some sports bar way in Lansing. I don't remember that, but and it was fine. It was a sports bar.
Yeah, that's kind of the trouble with East Lansing. One of the things we're going to face with all of these is we were sort of limited by where the hotel is.
Yes.
We didn't want to really get in an Uber, didn't want to get in a cab, so it's kind of what's nearby within a couple blocks walk. Well, right where that hotel is, it's right off campus, so it's a lot of college bars. There's some bar, I don't know the name of it, Guardsy might, but it's right across that hotel. And it seemed every time we went there, 11 in the morning, there's a line out the door to get into it. It didn't matter what day of the week or what time of year.
You're right.
So that's kind of the area. So we had to pick and choose to avoid, just the dirty hole-in-the-wall bars.
So you guys are the Hopcat in East Lansing. Anything else?
Stay away from crunchies.
Yeah. Sometimes that's a post-game hangout.
Post-game.
Yeah, and a lot of karaoke.
Oh, yeah. Do you sing?
No, and that's another reason to stay away.
Do you guys fly back after the games usually now, or do you spend the night at? Well, I guess you got the doubleheader, so you do. So you're saying like a post-game Friday. That would be fun. I hadn't thought about that. We need to get series in basketball.
Those are the best trips.
Yeah.
When you go back to the hotel afterwards, it's not too late, and you can go have a beer.
Yeah, we need to implement in basketball the hockey series. How did I not think of this in 17 years of doing this? Because you get the extra day.
Maybe with the expanded Big Ten.
That'll be the thing to do. All right, so Michigan State's off the list, rather nondescript. Sorry to the Spartans. I'm sure we'll get tweets from people. Hey, this is great.
Well, that's what I would say, because I don't really have an option. It's not memorable at all for me.
Yeah,
We've
and
only been there a couple times,
2 or
and
3
it's been
times
a while
in
for
football. Right,
For women's hoops, I flew in on my own late. We did see the Hopcat though. That intrigued me. Yeah, that jogged my memory, but I didn't go.
Did your thirst buds started to
around?
Yes,
it's a really beautiful campus.
It is.
That's it. Yeah, I haven't spent, and we're going there this fall, obviously. So, but if people have, that's the other thing. This should be a 2-way street. People should be letting us know what we're missing, because we get kind of set in our ways at a lot of these places. So I'm always interested in learning more. But East Lansing, very unmemorable for me at least.
Yeah. So let's stay in the state of Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and as Dan mentioned. Dan Riesig, one of our guests here, is that you are limited sometimes to where you stay. I know there's Ubers and there's different things, but we have had different hotels for a number of years. We stayed in Ypsilanti for basketball and football, and again, there's just not a lot there unless you're going to take a 40-minute cab ride or what have you. More recently, we have stayed in Ann Arbor, and we've been to a couple of spots. Dan, what do you got for us there?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same situation as East Lansing. My first few years, probably the years before that, and I think hockey was the same way. There was a Sheridan that was right on the outskirts of town by the mall, and it's just looking around and, there's a B-Dubs across the parking lot. Let's just do that. But a couple times we have had the chance to venture. Obviously, people love that city, and the time I spent it, I loved it too. It's one of my favorites. We went to a place called Knight's Steakhouse that was really good. What was great about that meal, that was another, believe it or not, travel delay. We got in at like 10 o'clock at night. We're trying to find a place to eat. Doug Pops Westerman was with us. We get there. It's like they're kind of still busy, kind of closing up. We sit down. We order our normal steak meal. We have this waiter who's, kind of the classic sarcastic. You probably remember that.
I do.
Guy. And it was a great experience, start to finish. You guys went back, I think, other times, and it wasn't as
just one other time, but it was a bigger group.
Right.
And sometimes if you get into a big group, because there were, I think, some sponsors on the trip and some boosters, and it was not as nice of an experience. But I can't tell people not. They should try it. It was. I thought it was good enough to go. The prime rib we had was incredible.
Yeah, and that's another one. Kind of every one of these towns seems to have one where it's like you could go to Ruth's Chris or you could go to the local place.
Yeah,
and 9 times out of 10, I think the local place is just a little more interesting.
What was there's a deli? Why can't I think of the name? What's
Zingerman's? That was the other place.
But they also have a restaurant, right? There's a double dip there. Is that what you guys have?
Zingerman's Roadhouse.
Zingerman's Roadhouse, yeah. It's an exit down from the State Street exit in East Ann Arbor. But Glenn and I used to go there, and they've got a great pepper bread. I just love it. Yeah, and you can get that actually in grocery stores in Chicago because my son gets it there. But yeah, it's a great place. It's all home cooked. Just the type of place you'd want to go to.
Yeah,
barbecue. They're known for barbecue.
Yeah. We ate there for football one time as well.
We did?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was one of the sponsored trips.
Oh, is that where we went?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might explain a few things. Yeah, we were talking about the sponsored trips at the Learfield golf thing the other day, and somebody said, so if I go on the sponsored trip, odds are I'm not going to remember like 50% of it. So it depends on who your sales rep is.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of out of the periphery on that, trying to stay out of the mix. I do remember that. That was when Daryl thought that he was having vodka from Ann Arbor, and it turned out it was Tito's, which is made in like San Antonio.
Austin, Texas or something, yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was having a local drink.
He was paying premium for the local,
He was.
Yes,
he was.
Yes.
Do you remember, was it Buddy's Pizza that we went to in Dearborn? Because you mentioned we stay in Dearborn now, which is where the Henry Ford Museum is.
That's true for football.
For football.
Yeah.
So we stay, because we're out in a suburb usually, and a lot of times we just go down to Detroit. We went to the Tiger game.
Tigers and Twins one year.
Tigers and Twins. We went to the, when Little Caesars Arena opened, we went to watch the Bucks play the Pistons in the new deal. That's a whole podcast in of itself, how we got tickets there.
We literally almost stole tickets from a church youth group somehow.
Yeah,
it's probably through scalpers. It was a weird deal.
Yeah, we probably don't want to talk about it too deeply. I just remember
we just get in and like, how do we get those?
I don't know. Yeah, I started walking and got in, and that was all she wrote. So we've done Detroit a lot. So like there, and we've been to Ford Field twice, obviously, for the Quick Lane Bowl. So I kind of consider Ann Arbor
an extension of Detroit?
A little bit, because that's really the only thing we've done for the most part that I can remember.
Was it Bridgewater's we went to? Was that the name of it? Something like that.
Could have been. But we went to a Detroit pizza place. That's something I think I never really knew what Detroit pizza was, the Detroit style pizza, until we went to how sheltered my life has been.
I do remember
somebody invented it. When did that come to be?
Well,
and they cooked it in like an auto parts box, right? And that's how it started. No, seriously, way back. It was like an auto parts box, and so they cooked it in a little thick, right, Dan? Isn't that right? Yeah, I think. And now that's the Detroit style pizza. Have you ever been to Greektown in Detroit?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Oh, man, we need Dan Robotham here. He also declined the interview. He was out. He's making big money somewhere. Yeah,
because he's had nothing but bad opinions on where we should eat and what we should do.
You guys, of course, have Dan work with you as well. He's the best engineer in the country, so we gotta soften him up a little bit. But that was one of the worst experiences. He insisted we go to Greektown, and we went to some place. And
why can't I remember the name?
It was terrible. We ordered. He wanted to order some cheese things. They came. They were literally on fire.
Yeah.
They were burning.
Yeah,
they were terrible. And then the beers were like four. And I'm not. Guardsy's the big drinker of the group. I don't drink much. And they were like 4-ounce glasses of beer for like $9.
Yeah, it was about the size of this 8-ounce coffee cup that I'm holding.
I'm going to say it was half that. It was crazy. So Dan still
part of the reason
that had to be 2014.
Yeah, the reason I can't remember what the place was called, because at one time he'd gone there for the Vikings, and he remembered it as this grand place that we had to go to, and so we're literally just wandering around Detroit, having no idea where it is. The place had moved, it had closed, it was something, and none of it was right. And I was salty.
Yeah, he messed the whole night.
There's times where I get salty, as you know.
No.
Not often. Not as often as you would indicate, but where I'm just like, what are we doing here? Because as Grim said, you guys have it right. You have two people. How often do you go out with other people when you go out? Not very often, right?
The team people all eat together with a team meal.
Exactly.
So we're left out of that.
Yeah, and there's not a big media contingent that comes.
So you don't have a lot of cooks in the kitchen,
because that does create issues sometimes. You're trying to plan a meal for 8 or 10, and people have their own wants and needs and times, their schedules.
Get gallbladder attack.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're all Minnesotans, so it's like, I don't know, you do it, whatever you want. What do we think? And then you just go along with it. Yeah.
All these years later, we're still throwing Robotham under the bus for that. And that's not to say you shouldn't go to Greektown, because I think it's a fantastic spot. But that night was miserable, though, for whatever reason.
Because I wanted to go get the Coney Island hot dogs.
Yeah. And you guys were, if we were ever close to a brawl amongst the crew on the road, outside of me and him
in
after
Iowa
the Kinnick Stadium wave in the first quarter, which that's another podcast for another day, that was close to fisticuffs. That was all telling. My dad was in the booth after the game. He's like, I didn't really think you treated your tech guy very well. We got in a little Donnybrook between the first and second quarter.
There was a schism.
If there was another one, that was it. You and him.
But there was a lot going on there. The rental car, the cigars. There was a lot going on there that was not good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. But the Detroit pizza. Detroit pizza's good.
That's we're way behind schedule now, but those are worthwhile stories on episode number 30 here of the Go Gopher podcast. So we've knocked out the state of Michigan, I think, here. Michigan State, Michigan. Let's go south to Ohio State. New entry hockey-wise into the Big Ten. Columbus, Ohio. What do you guys have for your favorite spots?
Post-game Roosters.
Roosters, yeah.
Yeah.
And pregame or the night before, Cazuelas. Did you get there? Remember you asked me a year ago
We
or
did
2
not.
years ago?
Yeah.
Again, Mexican food.
Yeah.
Guaranteed no gallbladder attacks in that one. It's a good one.
That's a good one. Okay.
But it's not just a campus spot. I mean, we walked in, we raised the average age by considerable amount. It was really good food and great service.
We've been to Roosters twice where we stay where, I forget, it's a Courtyard or a Fairfield or something. It's a decent ways from campus, but there's a Roosters. There's a Bob Evans. We had an awful meal one morning at Bob Evans, and I like Bob Evans, but that particular one was no good that morning. But we had a little further walk, it's 5-minute walk maybe, and Roosters, like their chicken tender kind of a place, right? Yeah, that was pretty good. But we've never, Dan, found a great spot for hoops. We've tried some spots.
Well, there's also a hotel where we stay called the Blackwell. It's right kitty corner from the football stadium, right on campus.
Yeah, is that where you guys always stay?
Yeah, pretty much.
We did that once for basketball. We're off.
But they got a really good restaurant in there, and it's that hotel had. It was. They have a culinary program and a hotel management program, so you get a lot of the students in there. And boy, the service was just off the charts.
Yeah,
and the meals were great, but it's too bad they're not doing them anymore.
COVID shut them down.
Shut the restaurant and the hotel down. Man, that stinks. We stayed once in that Blackwell, and then since it's been other places. We went. What was the one place we went to? A steakhouse, which was okay.
Yeah, there was a place. I think it was called the Avenue Steak Tavern or something like that. I think I'm pretending I don't know.
Yeah.
So much better spreadsheet here, but it's one of those problems. There's kind of like two types of places in the league. It seems you're either in the big cities, which is the Chicago, the Evanstons, Columbus, Minneapolis, College Park. Where it's like, okay, you could eat literally anything in the world you want, and it's going to be pretty good because you're in a major city. And then you're in West Lafayette and Champaign, where it's kind of scraping to find something that's going to be good. So when you're in Columbus, it's almost like
they're a tweener. Almost.
Right. There's too much to choose from, but at the same time, there's really nothing. So, nothing really stands out.
On my list at Ohio State, it's blank because I made a list. I had Michigan blank and Ohio State blank. Gartsy, what was Mason's? Mason gave it, Coach Mason.
Glenn Mason.
Mason gave us
former Ohio State Buckeye player.
So he knew all about Columbus, and his former teammate owned a place.
It was his teammate or a guy that he coached. I can't remember. Vladi Janiszewski. That was his name. I just looked it up. He was one of the best kickers in Ohio State history. He had a place called Easy Living Deli.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal.
It was the best. Yeah. Riesig would have loved the deli.
Yeah. He closed it. I just looked it up because that's the only place I really remember from Columbus. The last time we were there for football, we were running around all over the place trying to find a spot. Yeah. Kind of by the hockey arena. It was okay. Remember, we were going somewhere and it was packed, and then we just went upstairs to the bar and you could get the same food. It was a whole thing. But the Easy Living Deli, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, you're in a college town and you walk in and it's Ohio State stuff everywhere. I mean, pictures of all the Heisman Trophy winners. The sandwich I got, and I don't know if you did, was he was really proud of his pastrami. He's like, this is what Musburger gets every time he comes in. I'm like, well, if it's good enough for Musburger, it's good enough for me. Like, I'm not a huge pastrami guy, but Vladi, if you're going pastrami to Musburger, like, what choice do I have? Put the peppers on and everything. And it was great. Yeah, it's just one of those places that, what you were saying, you go to Chicago, it's the opposite of a chain.
Yeah.
Right? It had character, had charm, had personality.
It was like even connected to, he had a little grocery store in it, market or something, right? I mean, yeah.
And I thought it was great. And those are the places I really like because you're in Columbus. There's nowhere else in the world you could be to have that experience that you're having. And but he closed it like everything because there was a development and they wanted to put apartments there. It was kind of close to the stadium, but Easy Living Deli, I mean, I can see why Musburger liked it because it was phenomenal.
It was great. And I'm not a big deli guy, frankly, but that was a phenomenal place. Dan, we went to another deli there that had barrels of pickles. And Dan likes free stuff, shocking. And he didn't even order food. He just ate pickles out of the barrel. What was the name of that place?
I don't recall.
You don't recall the name of it? Yeah, it was a deli.
Wasn't that a Westerman pick though too? Didn't we walk there?
It might have been. But there were literally like the 55-gallon wooden barrels. And there were pickles, and you could just walk by and stick your fingers, grab a pickle, and eat it. It was great. All right, let's move on. So we've got Ohio out of the way. Now, Penn State is a hockey member as well, and, of course, we've been there not much for football, a lot for basketball. Do you guys have a hangout there?
Only if you got money to spend.
Yeah.
the Allen Street Grill.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a corner of Allen and whatever the main drag is going right past the campus. It's on the corner there. It's an upstairs loft. I mean, Wally and I go there to either celebrate the beginning of the season or the end of the season.
Yeah,
because it's just it's really good food.
It's good food.
That's how basketball is. We play Penn State, it seems, the last game of every year. Home. It's like a home game, the last game, or close to the last home game. We have gone for basketball to, is it the American Ale House? And that's a good place. It's a long ways away. It's a Uber ride, and then you get no cell signal in there. But they have an oyster nachos platter, and I'm not a big oyster guy, but this is I don't even know why we ordered it. Westerman ordered it, Pops, I think. And it is phenomenal.
And you wouldn't think Central Pennsylvania being the place for great
oyster
fried
factory.
oysters, but
they also do serve other oysters, like the regular half-shell ones,
and
too.
It's in the back in the woods, and it's always winter, so it's nighttime, so you feel like you're going nowhere. But it's a nice place. It's not, It's
name of the place again?
American Ale House.
We got to remember that.
Yeah. Mark that one down. We've pretty much gone every year. We were there last year.
There was a time we ordered 2 orders of it.
For sure.
Yeah. Like finished the first and said, let's get another one before we even got on to dinner.
And luckily, now we've stayed at some various hotels at Penn State. The football hotel it's just because you need so many rooms. It has not been great. I'm hoping this fall it might change. Guardsy, we've only been to Penn State once in all of we're going on 12 years, right? Here?
Yeah. This will be year
football.
12. Yep.
I've been 17, but the first 5, Dave Lee, of course, was football, and I was just pre and post. So this is our second trip in 12 years to Penn State,
and
right?
I don't think they've updated that hotel from what our friends in the Big Ten tell us. Because they don't need to, and they know it's the only one that has enough rooms literally in State College for the whole deal, so they charge a ridiculous amount within like an hour, and the stories on that are even legendary.
Right.
But I don't have a ton of Penn State memory. The Creamery, you got to do.
Yes.
Like we were saying.
Peachy Paterno.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if they still sell that.
Yeah, I don't know. Be careful. Be careful with that one. But that's another, that's worth checking out because, again, it's unique. The last time we were there, remember, I came separate and ended up in traffic coming out of Pittsburgh because there's no easy way to get there. So I missed the dinner, and then my phone died, and I didn't know where I was going. So I had to pull over and pick out a map somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains or whatever, the Nittany Mountain Range.
Yeah.
That's probably why I was lost. I thought it was the Appalachians. And found my way in to figure out where we were. So, but the Creamery I did with women's hoops, and it was fun. We went somewhere with the team after the game that was pretty good. I don't remember the name of it, but it was right there in that kind of cool campus area too.
Yeah. We've mentioned that on each of your previous appearances that the women's basketball team, I don't know if hockey does this, the men's basketball team, it doesn't matter who the coach is, Dan Munson, Jim Molinari, Tubby Smith, Richard Pitino, Ben Johnson, I've never seen a group of people so eager to get the hell out of town and threatening to leave the radio people. Like, okay, so you get home at 11:45 instead of 12:05. Yeah, but they do. Guardsy, meanwhile, he's with the women's basketball team. They win a game. They stop for ice cream. They get snacks. They take their time. It's crazy.
Some of it is due to when the plane is available. Like we've had time, like Lincoln, we had to stay after the game this year because the plane wasn't ready to get us. The plane. So, which is fine. Like you say, I like being after the game and just hanging out for a minute, not feeling like you're getting rushed out of there. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Tubby almost left us at Indiana. That's the closest we ever came. And then football, we almost got left at Northwestern. That was we don't still to this day know what Dan Robotham was doing. The best engineer in the country again. Let me reiterate.
Dan.
But Dan decided.
Let's get to the food. You can get derailed.
But did the coaches rush you on the getaway to get out?
God, yes.
Like, threaten that they're going to leave you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Did once.
Did you got left?
We did?
Detroit.
That's right.
Yeah, we were walking back to the hotel.
From the rink.
Yeah.
From the rink,
so the bus just left. Yeah.
Bus left. We walked back in the drizzle.
Yeah. Fun.
About
fun
a mile and a half.
Yeah. For tournaments, we have no shot taking the bus.
That a cop finally came by and says, "What are you guys doing down here at this time of night?" Well, we're going back to that
team
big
bus
hotel
left,
over there because our team left us behind.
Yeah, we have no shot of making the bus. I see what you're saying. So it was a postseason tournament in Detroit, or was it a?
Yeah,
that was that one. Yeah, that was the Big Ten tournament back when they were doing it. One year in Detroit, 1 year in Minneapolis.
Frank's like, oh God, yes.
Oh yeah,
that's great. Because so if we're at Indy or Chicago for the Big Ten tournament, they know we're spending the night. They are not interested in waiting, and it's fine. We go our own way anyway. But anyway, that's so we got Penn State, the American Ale House. We have to go into a little bit of a speed mode here. Purdue is not a hockey town, so I'm going to leave you guys out of this one, unless you have been to
West Lafayette and just have the
I've forgotten, and I understand it's a good place to forget, but I haven't been there.
It's okay. I don't mind Purdue. I love Mackey Arena. I mean, when we're going to have a podcast next week on venues, and that's going to just tip you off a little bit. That's going to be one of the favorite venues I've got. Mountain Jacks was the place that we've kind of gone for football and basketball.
Yeah, it's again right next to the hotel. One time Grim had to Uber back because it was raining and it was 35 degrees, and that's a whole nother story.
Well, yeah, because the school wouldn't reimburse me for it either.
But it was
$6. No,
it was
sorry.
worth the 3-minute Uber ride because again, place that looks like it hasn't changed since about 1988.
Yeah,
and in a good way, and it's definitely like the fancy date night restaurant in the Lafayette metro area. And we'd go. The best thing about that place, that's the tableside salad.
They make the dude, the waiter, will take a salad bowl. He's got this cart with all the and then you basically made to order salad, lettuce, carrots, radish, blue cheese, whatever. That was awesome. That's great.
So again, it's fine. I mean, it's good, but it's also you're gonna be out of there for what, $30, $40. That same meal, you go to Chicago, you go to Minneapolis, it might be $70 to $80. So that's the other factor too, is when we're dealing with per diems. We're not trying to go broke on most of these trips,
but we do.
We
usually,
do many of them.
Guardsy, you remember Mountain Jacks? That's basically been the football place. We did go to a sports bar. What was that called? I forget.
Well, this last year we went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's true. But there was a reason
because Mountain Jacks I don't think was open, or we couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
I remember we had to go to 2 Buffalo Wild Wings because the credit card machine wasn't working. So I think we had to go from Lafayette to West Lafayette.
That's a tough
commute.
That was because the group, we had like a group of 10. And it just kind of fell apart. So one person said, I think I'm staying in, and that led to another person. And before you knew it, the group was down. And then we wanted to watch, I think there was a Friday night game in the Big
Iowa,
Ten.
Maryland.
Yeah.
That's what we were watching.
It was, yeah.
What was where'd we get shakes after? Because I think we decided this year.
Triple X.
We want to go to that place
Triple X
right off campus. It's like a greasy spoon diner type place that has ice cream and shakes.
So when Purdue adds a hockey program, Triple X, guys, is the place to go. Kevin Lynch and I, in one of my first
I thought we were doing speed round.
Well, this is fast. This is my fast.
I thought you said speed round. We haven't even got through half the schools. We got to do venues.
Yeah. What do you got, a hot date coming up?
Dan Riesig does. He's working for the city. He's got to go. All right, go ahead. Tell us about Kevin Lynch.
He's stealing money from the taxpayers. We don't have to worry about it. All right, so we had Triple X. That's a good one. I had forgotten about that. That's where we had shakes, and we'll definitely go there. Mountain Jacks. Dave Revson gave us, when he was on, what was the name of that place? He gave us a recommendation, but we didn't go. Do you remember, Dan?
I have no idea. And we always wanted to go, and I don't think we made it back, or I never made it back.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to. We'll again tweet us. Northwestern. Now, you guys have hockey in Chicago ever? Even if it's not Northwestern.
We did that outdoor game at Soldier Field.
Yeah. And so Northwestern is an interesting one because if it's in Evanston, that obviously is geographically a little smaller than the grand scheme of things, and occasionally we'll be there for the Big Ten tournament where we're in downtown Chicago. So I'll offer up a couple. If we're in Evanston, I like Lou Malnati's. I know that some people have their preferences on which Chicago-style pizza, and I wouldn't want to eat Chicago-style pizza every time I eat pizza, but if you're in Evanston and you get there a couple times a year, that would be my thought. And then in Chicago, Gibson's is gold standard, right? I mean, we've been there a couple times for Big Ten Football Media Day and other events. And then Erie Cafe we've been to, great steak place, old school look, kind of a supper club. And great mushrooms. Spencer loves the mushrooms on the side. So those are I guess, 3 Chicago suggestions. What was a steakhouse that used to be
I think it's called The Barn.
The
That's
Barn
why we liked it.
in Evanston. Yeah, it was. It's good. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. You guys are.
In Chicago, we just call it pizza.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Lou Malnati's, though, that's great.
Yeah,
my wife and I order the frozen ones. They'll send you 6 frozen pizza, deep dish pizzas. Comes frozen, throw them in the freezer, and boy, are those good.
Well, you said your son lives in Chicago?
Number one.
Yeah.
And then we went back on that outdoor game that we did, and it was so downhill from what I remember.
Really?
As a teenager.
No kidding.
It was really disappointing.
Yeah.
So, Malnati's is the place now, or one of the Geno's.
Yeah, and then there's Giordano's, I think, is another or whatever it's called. Well, you said your son lives in Chicago.
Yeah,
so you get down there and
Chicago Wolves games, in the American Hockey League. They just won it all this year. So
wow, what a year!
It was a good year for them.
So you get down and visit. Is there any other restaurants besides Malnati's or anything?
We just he knows the neighborhood, so we just always walk somewhere, and it's fun because you get to these small places and off the beaten path, and he knows the restaurants around there, and I've never been disappointed.
Connie's just west of Chinatown.
Good spot.
Good, very good Italian.
Yeah, you add that to it. Yeah. Anything to add?
No. I mean, the pizza, I think, is the standard. We went to a place that was recommended to us this last time. It was like that surf and turf place, remember, where we'd been a couple of times?
We had been there. I forgot the name.
I can't remember the name either.
Mediocre.
It was fine. Yeah. You can see why people go there. It's kind of got a fun vibe to it. But the post-game, Mustard's Last Stand, Colonel Mustard's Last Stand, the hot dog stand at Ryan Field.
We've had a couple good stories with that.
That's what you want to do after the game. If you go to basketball or you go to football or whatever, it's just you walk over there, grab a couple of hot dogs, or in my case, a cheeseburger.
That's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah,
you go to the Mustard's Last Stand hot dog stand.
I got a cheeseburger.
And Guardsy buys a cheeseburger.
He's still mad about it.
I'm still pissed
10 years later.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I've been getting hot dogs, though, the last couple of times, including this last fall.
They're good.
That's a great, just like chill, decompress, wait for the team by the bus.
And they've got like other coaches from the Big Ten they've sent letters, hey, we brought the team. It's awesome. They hang these letters up.
It's cool. It's good.
It's a good spot.
And you get out of there for $8. It's phenomenal.
All right, Wisconsin, the hated Badgers, they're next. That's a hockey program as well, of course. So hockey guys are involved here. Frank, what's your Madison hang-up?
There may be other places, but for as long as I've been going there, after a game, you fall into and you fall out of the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 blocks away.
Yep.
Referees usually gather there. A lot of hockey people just kind of gather. So I don't know if there's anything else.
It's right next to the Kohl Center.
Right next to the Kohl Center.
Block away.
Block away. Even if you had to, you could walk to the hotel downtown. I mean, it's not.
There used to be a nice Italian place up on the square there around the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
I went in a day early last year than you did. I went over to go to this Italian place. Well, it's turned into a Mexican place now.
Henri's.
His great-great-great-grandson.
But you just go down State Street, and there's so many places when you walk down State Street of where you can stop in. State Street Brats is always a good stop.
Yes.
Always a lot of people in there.
We struggled at Madison. I think I take blame for that now as we've ventured out more. There's a lot of great spots to eat there.
Yeah. But like you say, State Street is and nitty-gritty, that's the answer. Frank, you're right, 100%. Yeah. The burgers and everything there, it's so good. But we stay for football out in Middleton, and we'll give Robotham credit on this one because it was later in the season after the Greektown massacre.
Yeah.
The Greektown mess.
Jeez.
He discovered the Tavern Green or something in Middleton. It's just this little town, kind of under the interstate there or whatever. And it's a great burger place and, just kind of a dive bar, hole in the wall. But they call it my relatives that live there call it like the Village Green Country Club or something like that, ironically. But Robotham found that, and when we're out there for football, which we usually are, it's tremendous.
It's tremendous. And that's a little away from campus.
But if you're going to Madison, stay in Madison and take all of it in.
Near campus. And then, Dan, the basketball hangout for years for us has been a place called the Tornado Room, and that's an old school supper club. Pretty affordable prices for the I'm talking like a 16-ounce bone-in filet, pretty reasonably priced and really good.
Yeah, what's great about that, and for me, my wife is from Wisconsin, so it's that Wisconsin supper club experience, but you're 3 blocks from the hotels, which is nice.
Yeah.
Our guy Spencer sometimes likes to go to the fancier steakhouses, which are fine.
Well, when you make his kind of money.
Right. Yeah. But for us regular people, it's nice to be able to, have a nice steak and and it's great and it's got a lot of history. I mean, I remember I went down to Madison with you guys, separate from you guys, this past year, and we found that video that the PBS station did on it.
They did a whole story.
And it was great. And then we get there and it was, we'd hyped it up a little bit more than we needed to, but it's great. And yeah, you really can't go wrong on State Street. There's one other place that's kind of right by the Capitol that I found one time called the Tipsy Cow, even before working with the Gophers.
Yeah.
And you can't find a bad bar with bad bar food in Madison. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of great, like burgers and cheese curds and all the stuff you want to eat that you shouldn't be eating after a game, and just a nice little quiet hangout.
We had fun. The Gophers beat Wisconsin in basketball one year. You were on that trip. It was Robotham, Dan, and then Spencer and I, and then we had an overnight because I think we were heading on to Northwestern or something. And so overnight in Madison, there's nothing wrong with that at all, especially after the Gophers win the basketball game, right? And so we went to the Tornado Room, and they had the regular dining area was closed, but they said the basement's open.
Yeah, it's like they turned it into weird. A lounge, and they've got a couple of different things to eat, but it's dark and smoky.
It was so fun.
I mean, we had just beaten the Badgers for the first time in how many years in Madison, so really anything was going to taste good.
Yeah, it was the drinks seemed to taste better.
Yeah, the old fashions went down easy that night.
No question. All right, anything to add on Wisconsin?
Do you guys know if the Essen House is still open?
I've not heard of it even.
I can look for it.
Remember that beer hall?
We used to go there
when
years
we were
ago.
younger. You could drink a boot of beer.
A boot.
I remember that. Yes, I remember going out there. I don't know if it's still open, but I remember that.
Good spot.
Plaza Tavern's another good place near State Street.
What is it called?
Plaza Tavern.
Plaza Tavern.
Dive bar, total dive bar. Had Plaza Burger, arcade stuff.
Yeah.
Your feet stick to the ground on the right day. That's where you go. Plaza Tavern.
All right, let's talk about Iowa City. You fly into Cedar Rapids there, and then basketball has traditionally just stayed on campus. Football had stayed in Cedar Rapids forever, but this past year, for the first time, stayed in Coralville, which was nice. It was close. And that's not a hockey area, although they have a new hockey arena right by the hotel we stay, where I think it's the ECHL Wild affiliate plays now.
I drove through there on a little summer trip a couple weeks ago, and I remember seeing that. And I thought, wow, this is unusual. But nice looking place.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start trying to put some bids in on getting because the Midwest. The West, I guess, the West region has always had, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't become maybe a spot to do that. But, so I'm a wig and pin guy in Iowa City. That's right down the road from Carver Hawkeye. They've got a Chicago-style pizza, which is as good as any pizza you'll get in Chicago. And then they've got these wing zings. It's a weird kind of wing, chicken wing, and it's spicy and crispy and tasty. So that's my spot.
I don't really have a great vibe on Iowa. I've been underwhelmed when we.
You were a student there. I
know. Well, I have good vibes there. Like Quinton's is a sandwich place in the pedestrian mall right downtown. That every time we're there, I try to go there.
Hang on a second. So your first recommendation serves sandwiches. Is there alcohol involved?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They call them big girls. Big girl beers. Yeah. At least they did back when I was in school there. Yeah. But the food though is actually really good. I mean, it's a nice combo platter. It's a nice combo platter. Mickey's is downtown too, right? A lot of people like to go there before games. You got two choices really. Three if you're in Iowa. You stay in Cedar Rapids and do whatever there. That's kind of like you were saying, the Columbus-y mix of nice places and whatever. Stay right downtown in Iowa City. You've got your college bars and your college hangouts, which are cool. And then Coralville, like you say, where you've got the run of pretty much anything you want.
And that by the hotel now, they've got all kinds of good. The hockey arenas.
It's changed a lot.
And then, there's multiple, microbrews. I'm not a microbrew guy, as you know, but if you want microbrew, even if you're not there for a game, go stay at that hotel.
There's a ton of options.
You would have you could stay for a week and not go to the same spot.
Yes, that's true.
What do you got, Dan? Iowa City, Iowa, University of Iowa.
Yeah, it's second on the wig and pen. That's one of those grim recommendations where he mentions it every time, and finally after a while you just give it and you're like, yeah, this place is actually really good. And Iowa is his turf, obviously. So yeah, exactly.
I do wear some guys out.
And usually there's a family member or a friend from high school who's coming too, and so it's kind of a grim hot spot. The other place too, speaking of grim, Jonesy's, the tenderloin place, which we went back a second time, it was okay, but the first time was great. And you're in Iowa.
It's literally it's kind of an Iowa style.
Yeah, and I'm probably making my first or second trip to Iowa. I'm like, oh, let's get a pork tenderloin, and Grimmer's like, let's go to this place. Well, sure enough, we go there. It was good, Tenderloin was huge. Grim starts talking to the owner. All of a sudden, 45 minutes later, me and Spencer are looking to get back to the hotel. Grim's still talking about Iowa high school basketball. I only remember this because the guy's talking about his daughter, who's like a junior in high school at that point. She turns out to be, her name's Ashley Jones. Which this may ring a bell for Guardsy. She's an All-American
at Iowa State.
Yeah,
led him to like the Elite Eight or something.
Yeah, a couple different years, Wooden Award, second team All-American, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So it's like...
this owner of this restaurant, we got talking about different things. And because in my past, I obviously grew up there, but I also did the high school state tournaments when I worked down there and a high school basketball game of the week and football game of the week. So I had my finger on the pulse of high school sports down there. So we had some a good conversation. This guy is bragging up his daughter. I don't even know if she was that old. I want to say she was like an 8th or 9th grader. And she has a sister who I think is also on the team.
That might be the one I was thinking.
Really good. And so, years later we look and Jones, she's star player.
Grimmer's complaining about coaches and whatever league this is in high school league, and it's just like we're We're trying to get going.
I was complaining about the officiating, I think, which I would never do. Never do that. Never do that.
I've heard your show is.
Yes.
I love when you guys slide stuff in on the officials too, by the way.
I leave that to you.
It's great.
People get on me. Nobody did it like Glenn Sonmore, though. I mean, people ride me. Glenn Sonmore was the greatest, right?
He was the best at ripping on an official. Yeah. He'd get out of his seat. We were doing a game once, and Greg Shepard was the referee in chief.
Yeah.
And he saw a horrible call on the ice. He threw down his head and said, Where's the referee in chief? I'm not get a hold of him. But Glenn just used to blow gaskets all the time.
I have to do another sidebar. Sometimes there's a detour when I'm involved. But so a friend of mine that I coached baseball with, he's a hockey referee, and so we were out, and he introduced me, and I forget the guy's name, so I apologize. But he was a WCHA official. I think he still is. Lives in the Metro, and we were talking about it. He found out, that I worked for the Gopher Radio Network and such, and he was talking about Glenn. And he said he was a school teacher in real life, right? And maybe even a principal. And he said he'd get to school on Monday morning, and, he had done a couple of Gopher games, thought it went great. And he'd get to school on Monday morning, he's like 6-7 different people would go, rough weekend, was it? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, well, I was listening to the radio. Like, what? He's like, I didn't think it was that rough. He's like, oh, well. So, I'm like, that's the greatest story ever. Like, every time he did a Gopher series, he'd get to school, and the guy, oh, rough weekend, was it? And he's like, I didn't even think it was that bad. No, he's like, oh, well, I listened to the radio.
That's why Glenn was railing on him. Difference of opinions.
Oh, man. So that's pretty good. Glenn would, that was beautiful. We miss him for sure. Yeah. All right, Nebraska. Now, you guys go to Omaha, right? On occasion, not anymore as much. Did you anything stand out?
I've been there once that I remember.
There's an Italian restaurant there. I can't remember why I dined there alone. I got the recommendation from Greg Harrington, our radio colleague who was doing games there.
Oh yeah, he was there.
And this supposedly was the place that Red Berenson took his teams to. Name I forgot. I didn't even think about Omaha.
We just this past year went. Was it Misty's? Is that? And I thought we had been there before.
We had been there once because you went obviously this year without me, and it had a much better experience.
Yeah, it was great. Like, I really enjoyed it this past basketball season. We had a really good steak and a really good meal, and it's kind of the place. If people say what in Lincoln, if you want a steak, go to Misty's. And we went once But it just even seemed like a totally different place. Like I don't know if they changed locations, but I will recommend that place if it serves the same kind of meal it was this past year.
Yeah, and I don't really have much for Lincoln. My family and I were actually down there a few months ago and had a great time there. And that area down by the arena is Haymarket. Yeah, that is what every arena and every college team should wish they had, because it's the best setup in the world. Because you go park, they've got thousands of parking spaces. They got 200 different places to eat or drink. You walk right into the arena, and then you walk back out, and you can have more to eat or drink or whatever. But I couldn't tell you a single one of them that was any particular memorable. I just know every time we drove in there, it's like this is what it should be all about.
Yeah, it was. The Misty's was good, and that is a good atmosphere, as you mentioned, around there. And football, Guardsy, we went to Omaha one year, and your dad became Mr. Popular.
That was another client trip, where the I can't remember if it was TCF or Coca-Cola or whatever, but they were ready to go. They were asking for Yeg bombs at this nice steak place.
They were chanting, Guardsy's
my dad's
dad
is
Mike.
Pretty chill guy. And I remember the waiter even said, "This is a nice steakhouse, gentlemen. We don't serve Yeg bombs." I'm like, that's good for everybody. But they hung out at in Omaha. But yeah, Haymarket in Lincoln is the place to be. And we just went, women's basketball played there this last year, and we stayed right down there. And like I mentioned, we had a later flight. So we just went down, the whole team hung out there and had dinner, and that was great. We got to the bus, and like you said, Reese, there's 200 places there. You can find anything you want. There's a place we've eaten before with some other media members. I was trying to find the name. The internet's not working.
What was the place of the monks? Remember that? It was a steakhouse. It used to be a monastery or something.
Was that in Lincoln?
That was in Omaha. And the only reason I know that is because I was down with the basketball team because we had a scrimmage at Creighton the night before. So I met you for...
What was the name of that joint?
No idea.
So they were playing this chanting... kind of almost haunting chants, religious chants in the background while you're eating your steak in a place that used to be a monastery.
Yeah. That was when they were 0-6, Scott Frost's first year. And then we ended up losing. Yeah, that was Zach Anixter got hurt. Tanner Morgan era began. But that was the night before that game. Because I remember the waitress, we were talking about how business was down in Lincoln because the football team was so bad.
Yeah.
And she was like, nobody will come. She's like, if we win tomorrow, I don't know, but no one wants to come in after these games. She's like, it's really hurting our business.
I remember that now.
It was great. It's like, it hasn't been a great fall for anybody, but no one wants to come in after these games.
I also should throw a disclaimer out now. If people are listening, they're probably thinking that the Gopher football radio crew just must go out and get smoked every night before a game. We are actually a pretty tame group.
I think so.
Yeah.
But, well, we're talking. When we talk about the client trips, like those people are there to have a good time, and we send them on their way.
Yes,
that was my dad's when they were chanting his name. He's like, "I'm going to hold you back, guys." He's like, "I'm like a wounded buffalo." He's like, "You got to just leave me behind," and they did.
The sponsors and boosters,
they're there to have a good time. We're there to have dinner with them, and then they go off and do whatever the hell they want, and then we see them the next day, and it's always hilarious.
It is.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Yes,
most of the time.
Most of the time. We'll tell the Indiana story some other time. All right, Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, and my spot.
Well, there's two spots. I mean, there's Alexander's and there's the Ribeye, and then there's the Steak and Shake, which is
and there's a Hooters.
And there's a Hooters. I mean, you can get whatever you want. We're going to talk about venues at some point, but I like Champaign. I actually like because everything, if you stay in the right place, is walkable. Which is, like you were saying with the nitty gritty, Frank. If you can just get your hotel and you can get your restaurant, and you can get your potables, whatever you need, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You're good to go. So I like Champaign.
Yeah, and the ribeye, Garzi and I have had debate. I like the ribeye because it was right in the same parking lot as where we stayed for years, and two, the salad bar is the best salad bar in the Big Ten.
Well, part of it too, the debate's over because my parents were actually driving back to the East Coast a couple weeks ago, and they stayed in Champaign for the night. I was looking to send them to Alexander's, which was our favorite place.
That's a cook your own.
Yeah,
yes.
Great place, great salad bar. Just a much
not
better
as good
experience.
of a salad bar as ribeye
overall. Way better package. That place is now closed. Oh. So if you want steak and salad,
the ribeye closed as well, but then reopened.
Yeah. And the ribeye, the best part I can say about the ribeye is that their chicken is really good.
No, come on,
because the salad bar is great. But if you remember, there was a time where Spencer, for whatever reason, didn't want to have a steak and he had a chicken instead, and we're like, this chicken is really the steaks are fine. They're literally fine. They're not good. I mean,
so I think it did decline a little bit when we first started going. All they serve is ribeyes. You can't get a T-bone, you can't get a fillet, you can't get a sirloin. They call it the ribeye for a reason. They specialize in ribeyes, and they were really good.
Well, and it's probably been open since about 1980.
Yeah.
And it probably hasn't been updated since about 1980, but it's definitely the place where they used to take all the big recruits and stuff. So I'm sure they have all these stories about, D. Brown ate here and on his recruiting visit. And it's great, but it's also lost the fastball a little bit.
Well, we'll see. It's reopened. Maybe it's a new opportunity. But the salad bar is off the chart.
Yeah,
it's as good as you're going to have anywhere in the country.
I'm bummed about Alexander's, though, because cooking your own steaks was a fun deal.
That was just part of the experience.
Yes, exactly. But that's it. That's unique.
Remember, Daryl tried to help Courtney Anderson, who was a photographer.
Yeah.
Just mangled that steak.
It didn't work.
Terrible.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
That's the danger of cooking your own steak. But Daryl basically thought he cooked the steak. She got it back. She cut into it. It was literally still as red as it could possibly be. So they had to redo some things.
You ever want to see Mike Grimm in full dad mode? Take him to a cook your own steakhouse because he'll tell you all the tricks of the trade.
Oh, yeah.
He'll tell you down to the minute, perfect, and he does it right. He knows what he's doing, but it's fun.
There's always a hell of a steak coming off that grill for sure at Alexander's. Illinois hockey, they were going to start. Now they're not. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's too bad. It would have
They should have asked me first. I would have told them it wasn't going to sail.
Well, with the changing landscape of college athletics, whether it's conferences and what have you, it should be interesting to see where the hockey landscape goes, which, again, is a podcast for another day. All right, let's go Rutgers and Maryland. Combo platter here, the two newest additions to the Big Ten. Dan, what's the name of the diner that we used to go to at Rutgers?
I don't remember.
Skylark or something?
Something like that. And the problem with Rutgers is
Skylark Diner.
I think that was the name. Rutgers is great because you're 45 minutes to an hour by train into the heart of New York City. The problem is everything is spread out there. Depending on we stayed the first few years, there's a Hilton right off the New Jersey Turnpike, and that's where you stayed. You couldn't walk anywhere. So it was like
that honestly was like you dropped into 1978 too. The carpet, the
hotel bar the hotel bar is an old ballroom. You can tell. I mean, it's just so. If you're staying in the wrong place and you don't have transportation, it's hard. But what's great about Rutgers is, like I said, you could get on a train for $20 and go out for the night in New York City. Your son came along on one of the trips and did that. And you did it with him, right?
Yeah, we went into the city, and it was a little bit of a snowstorm. It was great. He is into photography. Frank, he's into photography. And so he actually took pictures at the game for the Gophers. He was in high school, I think, still, right? Maybe, no, he was in, I can't remember. It was 2017, I think. Anyway, we took the bus in. We took the train into the city, and he got some really good shots of the city because it was just kind of light snow. It was great. So it was an awesome trip. But there's really not a great spot around those hotels. No, but that diner was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Skylark.
And we stayed in a hotel, I think the Heldridge is what it's called. It's kind of downtown New Brunswick, which is just where, honestly, most of Rutgers is. It's in like 4 different cities, depending on what side of the river it's on. But there's just a pizza place, right? And it's just your classic like New Jersey, New York pizza place where you get, really good slice, really good chicken parm hero for like $10. I think it was snowing that trip. I actually had it delivered to my room across the street because I didn't want to go out in the snow. So that's my story for that.
Yeah.
A guy from Minnesota that doesn't want to go out in the snow.
Yeah. He's a Maryland native, but not really. That's another
I got
story.
nothing on Rutgers. What I'll say about Maryland is we had a company outing there that one time. Jerry, the proprietor, gave like 50 speeches. We don't need to go into all of them.
Spilled some au jus on my suit.
That was good. That was fine. But I'm like one of 5 people that's glad Maryland's in the Big Ten because I think going to D.C. is a must for like this last time when we went on that Friday night and you just go check out the National Mall. Like just don't worry about the food when you go to Maryland. Just go check out all the stuff in our nation's capital.
There are some good crab cakes. We went to a place in Annapolis somehow in basketball. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Annapolis about half hour away or so. So if you got a group, it's easy to go. I got 2 places from Maryland. I worked in Maryland for a year out of college, and I'm not a Maryland native. I'm from Virginia.
I know, but that's the running joke.
That's the running joke.
Yes.
Marathon Deli. Grimmer hates this place.
For 2 reasons.
Been around forever. Like every Maryland student you talk to them, you say Marathon Deli Euros. They're going to know what you're talking about. They're going to give you that nod of approval. And then Lido Pizza, which is a chain, but the original one is in College Park. The original one they sold or they moved and they've rebuilt it, but it's its original first location. It's like this very unique it's kind of Midwest style, cracker crust, really thin.
We had that in the hotel.
Yeah, it's really good and kind of a treat for just something unique and local to the area.
I don't mind the Marathon Deli. As I said earlier, I'm not a big deli guy. I don't like I like a warm sandwich. I want a hot sandwich. Steak or something on my sandwich, a hamburger. And they don't have, it is what it is. But the biggest thing is I don't think it was a Marathon Deli. We were there one year and you took me to some hero place.
Yeah, that's the place I'm talking. Marathon Deli, the hero Greek place. Yeah.
And the only reason I thought we were going there because you thought it was great. And then it turns out you had a coupon.
No,
and I'm like,
that may be a different place.
Yeah, I think it may have been a different place. But it was crazy. We drove like an hour, and I'm thinking, oh, great.
No,
I'm like, why are we coming here? Oh, I got a $2 off on a sandwich. I'm like, dude, we were just in the car for 45 minutes. It's crazy.
But you know what the university's per diem is like.
No kidding.
For sure. You need every coupon you want.
Assistance.
Raise the Steaks. You took us to a place called Raise the Steaks, a steakhouse. A very enjoyable meal, but it's out.
It's gone. Yeah,
it's gone.
Great place, but it's gone.
What percentage of your meals are steaks?
Most
90%.
Yeah. Most.
Yeah. You guys really
between
really
steak and B-dubs, you're at 99%.
You're really into variety.
Not 99. Not. Maybe.
Yeah, we
maybe.
hardly ever have a steak.
Hardly ever have a steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are. I think you told me, Frank. You Mexican a lot, right?
Italian.
Italian. Yeah. Just
whatever.
anything really.
Yeah. We could. I'm not a big pasta guy, but it's all right. Get a nice meatball on there. We got Minnesota and Indiana.
All right.
So let's go Minnesota, the hometown school. And I think, again, with the big city, Dinkytown is, campus is one thing, and then downtown Minneapolis is the other. So it's almost two different things. So we'll start with Wally. Wally, what do you got for the home base here?
Well, for us, it's more post-game, so we'll usually head over right next door to Bobby and Steve's in downtown there to Maxwell's and have some wings or cheese fries or whatever. Yes. We get a group of us together. The officials are usually in there on one of the nights, and that's kind of our go-to spot because right off the freeway, it's pretty easy for everybody to head out afterwards.
What's the other one on Como? There is it the Blue Door?
Oh, Blue Door.
Blue Door.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good place.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll go with Shuang Cheng, right in Dinkytown. And that, not so much for game days or anything, but that to me is the classic when we worked in Bierman Building and we want to go grab lunch as a group of us. walk 2 blocks. They had a great lunch special. I think they still do.
Loves the lunch special.
Gotta love the lunch special. Wasn't there a time that like DT went with you all and everybody gets the lunch special? DT ordered like the whole fish or something like that.
He ordered. Yeah, he still does.
Yeah.
So we travel with the team for football. Mm-hmm. That is our Friday. We'll go in. We watch the walkthrough, the Fast Friday walkthrough. I interview PJ for the pregame show, and then we have to wait. We have to wait to get screened, to get on the bus, to go out, and so. After that, we'll walk over to what's the name of it again?
Shuang Cheng.
Thank you. And we'll have the special. But Daryl then, so the special's like what, $11, whatever. Night, sesame chicken. Thank you. Okay, get an egg roll. Yes, and you're done. Daryl's looking at like I'll have the duck something whatever, and it's $32. I'm like, Daryl, there's a lunch special going on here. But it's a good spot. So that's our Friday. Our Friday spot before we leave on the football trips, and it makes Tony mad at Tony's Diner because he sees us walk by it. I like Tony's. I give him a shout out because if I'm not going there, Tony's is a good spot as well.
God, Maxwell's is such a great call. You just got me on Maxwell's. I haven't been there in years. Oh, Maxwell's is such a good spot.
Ask for Rosie.
I will.
Find Rosie.
Okay, that's They have good food too. Like the whole production in Maxwell's is great. That's good. But if I'm
a great bowl of gumbo in there too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I've never had that. No, I'm more of the apps guy. Okay. Yeah, Maxwell's. Good mugs of beer too.
Anything on campus for you?
Oh, nothing like Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's a historic place.
Station 19. Yeah, exactly right.
My hours dictate that I can't do this, but Al's Breakfast, of course, yes. I've been there once in 17 years just because my hours don't account for it. Is it as good as I always hear?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. Daryl, we did that off of I think the New Mexico State Red Eye.
Yeah.
Because we landed at like 6:30 or 7. It was open.
And bus to El Paso.
Yeah, let's go.
Got in at 6 or 7.
Yeah, let's wake up before we go home. I think.
Yeah. Al's is going to have a place at the State Fair this year, I hear.
Really?
The old Hamlin Diner,
yes.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you transfer, the grease and smell and the vibe into that place, but we'll see.
Do you guys do Al's a lot or some? Or
I've never been in there.
I've been there once.
Yeah, it's just schedules are hard, because it's kind of a morning joint, and that's when I work. All right, so if you're in the city like Minneapolis, off campus, what do you got?
I don't know. I didn't know we were doing Minneapolis. There's so many options.
Is it a Big Ten city?
It is.
Okay.
If you're coming for the women's basketball tournament in March, just go to the Loon. Go to the Loon.
You're a Loon guy.
Yeah, go see Tim Mahoney. Been there forever. You got great sandwiches. You don't have to have grape apes if you don't want to, but I would because it's part of the deal.
Have what?
Grape apes. Their specialty shot.
I thought you said great babes. I'm like,
no.
Whatever you want.
But I like the Loon because it's close to everything and the food's good and it's not too crazy. It's not too expensive. It's a lot of TVs. It's a fun place.
Dan?
I actually don't have a lot, and part of that because I'm the newest one here to Minnesota. I've only been here about 8 years. For me, I'd say Runyon's. Especially if you're down by Target Field. Just get the wings. That's all. That's all you need to do. They're short of being in Buffalo. They're the best wings probably I've ever had.
Yeah. The beauty is Minneapolis is a really good eating town. I mean, there's endless. You could stay here a week. What do you, Frank?
Tom Reed's Hockey City.
Oh, St. Paul. Yeah.
Best bar food.
Yeah, it really is good
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Too bad they took the poutine off the menu, though.
They didn't.
They did.
Why?
They probably took it to Tavern 23. Louis probably stole it. He probably had the intellectual property and said, "I'm taking it to my restaurant, Tommy."
Too many people died swimming after eating a poutine.
My goodness. That stuff. I had never even heard of that till one year we were in Madison for a basketball game, and it was on a menu. I'm like, "What's that?" And they described it. I'm like, "I'll try it."
Yeah.
And
you got to miss Final Five weekend for that deal. Just in general, right? When it was over.
Oh, God.
The WCHA Final Five. I mean, I missed that, and I only got a taste of it. And Tom Reed's would be a big part of that.
Yeah.
That was Cassetta's, too.
Cassetta's, yeah.
That whole street there's got some good stuff. Anything else, Frank?
I'm good, but your Minneapolis pick.
Yeah, Wally, I'm sorry.
Well, I said Maxwell's, but I don't really get into Minneapolis a lot. I'm probably more in St. Paul nowadays than I am downtown Minnie.
I've got 3 spots, and you can't. I mean, really, you can't go wrong. But if Murray's and Manny's, I mean, if you're going to get a steak, one of those two is great. They're different vibes, different experiences. Both, you're not going to have a bad meal. Bring your checkbook or your credit card, but you're not going to have a bad meal at either place. And then again, kind of for old school stuff, J.D. Hoyt's. I mean, if you want a pork chop or something, the Buddy is a Buddy Bowl.
Buddy Bowl.
So those would be a couple of spots. If you're into the food thing as well, we had Mariano Sori-Marin on as a guest a few weeks ago. Go find that one because he's been to now 98 restaurants and he's kind of charted them all. The linebacker for the Gophers. So we did a whole podcast in town. He's from Chicago and he's now a senior. And he actually thinks he's been over 100, but he as a freshman didn't start logging. He went back and tried to remember all the ones he went, but he figured he missed a few. So
he ranked them?
He's ranked them. El Cubano was his favorite, a Cuban restaurant in town. Yeah.
All right, now first ring suburbs of Minneapolis.
What
are your
favorites?
Start with
St. Louis Park and Richfield.
What do you guys like?
I'd love to talk about Dinah.
Yes, you would. I'm sure you would. All right, last one. We have not done Indiana, a non-hockey city, Bloomington, Indiana.
There's only one answer. You just take this. There's only one answer.
I did half save it for last. One is we'll get this to the venue one as well. It's probably my favorite spot to go to in the Big Ten, just in general. The town square, it's a little smaller field, but there's a campus atmosphere. There's some great sports bars there, Kilroy's and Nick's that are legendary. But the go-to spot is Zagreb's. Is it Janko Little Zagreb's? We just call it Zagreb's. Spencer and Dan, I've dragged them to that you can't make that trip and not go there, although we did get shut out this past year because of, I forget why.
I think their flight was Sundays and Mondays.
The flight was delayed or something, but they cooked the steak on an open flame. Bob Knight used to take the recruits there. It's an old school look. My favorite spot to go in the Big Ten as an eatery is that, and then just in general, Bloomington's my favorite trip to go to. Thoughts?
Yeah, I can't add too much to it. I mean, every time you go, it's the horrible, uncomfortable chairs, plastic tablecloths, and the pictures of all the recruits that have been through. And it's just a great experience. The hand-broken salad is a bit of a joke. That's the only thing I'll add on that.
That's not a hand-broken salad.
No, it's on their menu, and it's absolutely hand-broken out of a plastic bag.
No. It's a nice quality hand-broken salad. It's a nice quality hand-broken salad. They just don't break it in front of you like they do at Mountain Jack.
I've only been there the one time, but it lived up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we just don't go to Indiana.
And this last year I was in the Bahamas with women's hoops, so I didn't. I wasn't able to do it, but yeah, it was worth it. It was cool. I can't wait to go back. Buffalo's was good as well.
Oh yeah,
your place,
Buffalo's. They got the wings.
For the wings. That's a great college town.
Daryl and I at halftime, this dude the owner of Buffalo's brings up wings at halftime. Norwood Teague brought the wings to us because they dropped them off at the elevator, and I'm looking over. We're doing the halftime show, and Daryl's got wing sauce running down his arm trying to break down the first half. But there they are. Hey, guys, that was fun. Our 14 cities and more than 14 restaurants. And hopefully some people will offer us. The ultimate eating guide. Yeah. And hopefully people will tweet at us their suggestions. And, if you don't agree, if you think, that's what good food is about. Some people like something more than the other, but hopefully we gave a few people what they wanted. Dan, you got anything on your...
We've got an advantage, too, with hockey where we go into Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do South Bend.
We stay in the city of Notre Dame in a hotel right across the street, really, from the rink. So it's just, you walk everywhere. But we'll always go down to an Irish pub called O'Rourke's.
Yep.
And they've got great food in there if you're in Notre Dame.
And avoid downtown South Bend.
Avoid South Bend, downtown, yeah. And is there if you're going to Notre Dame, you got to go to an Irish pub, I would think, right? I mean...
Automatic.
I mean, there's
Shepherd's Pie.
I was, right. I was in South Bend the night Kirby Puckett hit the big home run. I was there for a football game.
1991?
Yeah. One of my good friends from high school was Lou Holtz's manager.
That's right.
That's right. We might have been this place. We were at a sports bar. We're watching the Twins game on TV, and boom, home run. It was great. But anyway, hey, that's awesome, guys. We appreciate it. When you guys have the longest season in the history of the world, like what's the opener next week? It seems, and
first weekend of October.
First weekend of October
against Lindenwood.
Yeah, new out of St. Charles, Missouri. Yeah. When I lived down there, I lived there for 6 years, just a few minutes from campus. So lovely downtown. I wonder where the home games will they be at that family arena deal down there? I wonder when. But they're coming up here.
They're coming here.
So their season.
Where are you going to eat when you go to Linden?
Yeah, when you go to Linden. I'll get you some spots.
I got spots already.
There's some tuners. Tuners in St. Charles was a good spot. But you've got an hour. You start your season a month before basketball. Mm-hmm. And end your season, depending, as much as almost a month after.
We want to go to April.
Second weekend of April is usually the Frozen Four.
Right.
That's 2 weeks after the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite Frozen Four city?
Tampa.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with 85 degrees.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the Outback Bowl as well.
The arena's in a good spot, too. Is it the Channel Side area right there? Yeah, that's a good spot.
We just think it should be the permanent home of the Frozen Four.
But you've got power?
Yeah.
And I like Boston, too. I really enjoy Boston.
It seems like it.
There's a lot of good eating there.
Yeah.
Boston's a great eating town. All right, hey guys, we got to go. We went a little over. Resig's buying. It's been episode 30. We want to thank Wally and Frank, Justin Gard, Dan Reesig, and we'll have another cool episode next week on venues of the Big Ten.
There it is, our tour around the Big Ten on the Go Gopher podcast, episode number 30. My thanks to our guests, Justin Gard, Frank Mazzacco, Wally Shaver, and Dan Reesig. I hope you enjoyed some of the stories and some of the suggestions. We hope to see you at one of these restaurants a night before a Gopher game in a Big Ten city this year. Episode number 30 of the Go Gopher podcast is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or TNMA.com today. We're also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please be sure to click the subscribe button to the Go Gopher podcast right now. It's absolutely free to listen at any time. And please share the link on your social media channels. We'll talk again next week.